Have you ever paused to consider that your life successes, failures, health, even, your deep sense of happiness might all hinge on something much closer than you think, something right inside your own mind? Today, we're doing a deep dive into an incredible, often overlooked power within you. It's your subconscious mind. Our guide for this exploration is the profound work of Joseph Murphy. He compellingly argues that this subconscious mind isn't just a part of you, it's your greatest treasure, really, just waiting to be unearthed.
Yeah.
So our mission for you today is pretty clear. If you learn to consciously engage with and direct this immense power, it can unlock health, prosperity, happiness, and peace, maybe in ways you currently only dream of. Okay, let's unroll this treasure map together.
And what's truly remarkable as we unpack these ideas is just how universally applicable they seem to be. Like across every part of life. We're not just going to touch on what the subconscious is superficially. We really want to dig into how it functions and maybe most importantly, why understanding its mechanics is so vital for making a tangible, real world impact in your life.
Right. So let's begin with the treasure itself. Murphy asserts that every single one of us holds this hidden gold, our subconscious mind. He posits that it's this deeper mind that quietly but profoundly sets the entire direction of your life, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, really. The source material draws this direct, almost startling link. Consistently give positive input, positive commands to your subconscious, and watch your life transform positively. But conversely, allow negative patterns of thought to dominate, and your reality will start to mirror that negativity. It sounds simple, doesn't it? Almost too simple.
It does sound simple, and that simplicity is, well, it's deceptively powerful. Because what's crucial here, I think, is recognizing the subconscious isn't merely a passive recorder, like a tape machine. It's an active, incredibly potent builder.
A builder.
Yes, a builder of your reality. It shapes circumstances, experiences, based directly on the deep-seated beliefs and the consistent inputs it receives, which, immediately prompts a critical question for you listening right now. What kind of inputs are you consciously and maybe unconsciously feeding into that powerful engine every single day?
That's a powerful question. We've identified this inner treasure, okay, but the real question is, how do we use it? How does this whole inner system actually work? How does it translate thought into tangible reality? Let's try and peel back the layers here, understand the mechanics. Murphy breaks down the mind into two distinct yet interconnected parts. You've got the conscious and the subconscious.
Okay.
So think of your conscious mind as like the busy captain of a ship. It's navigating, making decisions based on current data, setting the course. It's the part you're using to analyze my words right now.
Right. The thinking mind. And if the conscious mind is the captain, then the subconscious is, well, it's the vast, intricate engine room and the highly skilled crew below deck. It just silently operates, processing, billions of bits of information, carrying out the captain's deepest, most consistent orders, even the ones given unintentional.
Unintentionally.
Yeah. It doesn't question, it simply obeys. It just does. And the genius of Murphy's analogy, the one you often hear, is imagining your conscious mind as the gardener and your subconscious mind as the soil.
Ah, the gardener and the soil. I like that.
Whatever you plant, whatever seeds of thought or belief you drop in, that's what will inevitably grow.
Right, okay. If we connect this to the bigger picture then, this analogy, it beautifully illustrates why clarity of thought is so key. What your gardener is truly thinking and consistently planting, that's incredibly powerful. The quality of your harvest, your actual lived experience, directly corresponds to the quality of the seeds you sown. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How many times we've accidentally planted something we didn't want to grow.
Exactly, like ending up with a garden full of weeds because, well, you weren't careful with your seed selection, metaphorically speaking.
Totally.
And this leads us right into the most compelling, maybe even startling aspect of Murphy's work, which is the truly miraculous power of subconscious beliefs. This isn't just about, thinking positive thoughts on the surface. It's about the subconscious actively turning your deep-seated convictions into reality.
Deep-seated convictions. Huh?
Yeah. Murphy provides some really striking examples. Consider a sick person who, maybe against all odds, deeply believes they are healthy. This profound conviction, this feeling, it can trigger their subconscious to begin the process of making that belief a physical reality.
It's almost startling to think about the implications, but the counterpoint is just as potent, isn't it?
Yeah.
If unwavering positive belief can manifest health, then fear, negativity, self-doubt, when they're deeply held.
They can manifest as equally tangible reality.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a direct feedback loop. It really is a case where fundamentally belief equals result. A direct, almost undeniable equation.
Belief equals result.
Yeah. And while that seems straightforward, maybe, on the surface, the really profound insight here is recognizing that it's often our deepest, sometimes almost invisible beliefs, not just our conscious affirmations, It's those deep beliefs that are truly gardening our reality.
So that explains why sometimes, maybe, our best conscious efforts don't seem to work immediately.
Exactly. Because there might be a more dominant underlying belief operating in the subconscious, sort of counteracting it. Which brings us to another critical question for you to think about. What unconscious beliefs might you be holding right now? Beliefs that are quietly shaping your reality in ways you don't even realize.
Powerful stuff. Now, if you're listening and thinking this sounds like some, cutting-edge, new age concept, think again. The concept of mental healing, the mind-body connection. It's actually far from new. Our sources, Murphy's work, points out that this wisdom was actively practiced in ancient civilizations. We're talking ancient Egypt, India, Greece.
Right. And what's fascinating here is seeing that consistent thread across such diverse ancient cultures. It wasn't isolated. In temples, in sacred sites, individuals were often immersed in an environment specifically designed to instill this profound conviction, the conviction that they were already healed.
Already healed. Not going to be healed.
Precisely. It was this deep belief, this acceptance allowed to sink into their subconscious, that initiated a tangible healing process in their bodies. It really suggests a fundamental, maybe intuitive understanding of human psychology, an understanding that transcends time and geography. They knew, even without our modern scientific jargon, that the mind was this potent force in healing.
Okay, so if this wisdom has such ancient roots, what does this all mean for us today in our modern world? Well, the bridge from those ancient practices to our modern understanding is actually quite remarkable. Contemporary psychology now openly uses methods like autosuggestion and visualization, which really tap directly into these very same principles of influencing the subconscious.
Exactly. And perhaps the most widely recognized modern proof, the one most people have heard of, is the placebo effect.
Yes, the placebo effect.
Indeed. It's a phenomenon that doctors themselves readily acknowledge. The placebo effect works, often powerfully. Not solely through, say, the inactive pill itself, but primarily through the patient's belief, their belief that they are receiving an effective treatment.
So the belief itself is the active ingredient, in a way.
In a very real way, yes. The widespread recognition of the placebo effect in modern medicine, it serves as concrete scientific evidence, really, for the profound power of belief in shaping physical reality. It shows how modern science is, increasingly catching up to this ancient wisdom, catching up regarding the profound mind-body connection. It offers tangible proof of the principles we've been discussing.
So ultimately, the message seems consistent, whether ancient or modern.
Absolutely. The consistent message is that when your subconscious mind receives the correct, deeply ingrained message, the right blueprint, truly remarkable things, even things that seem like miracles, can happen.
Okay, so to kind of bring our deep dive toward a close here, the core insight is this. Your subconscious mind is an incredible, immensely powerful force, and it's continuously shaping your reality, moment by moment, based on your deepest beliefs and the commands you feed it. Whether you do that consciously or, well, unconsciously. It's that ever-present gardener perpetually tending your inner soil.
Right. And now that you've gained this understanding, this awareness of the immense power dwelling within your subconscious, this raises, I think, an important question for you to consider personally. How intentionally are you gardening your mind right now, today? What seeds are you consciously choosing to plant for your future? And perhaps a final thought to really mull over. If your subconscious mind is, in fact, constantly manifesting your deepest beliefs, just imagine what incredible possibilities might open up for your life. If you were to consciously, consistently, deliberately cultivate beliefs of immense well-being, profound capability, and unwavering success, what could that look like for you? That's something to truly explore.
From chapter 6 of this book, something really jumps out. It's a pretty surprising insight about healing. The author basically says at the core of every single healing, doesn't matter if it's prayer, medicine, some kind of ritual, it isn't the method itself, it's belief. Ultimately, disbelief. That's a big claim, isn't it?
It is. And what's fascinating here is how the book explains why that might be. It argues the real work isn't external, it's happening deep inside, In your subconscious mind, the moment your inner conviction shifts, the moment you truly believe I am healed or I will be healed, that's when the body, according to the source, starts to align. It gets the message and responds. It's like a direct command.
A direct command from belief to body.
Exactly. And this really makes you rethink what drives our well-being, doesn't it? The book strongly implies that while, yeah, external things can help, they might just be catalysts. The actual fundamental mechanism of healing, it's rooted deep in our internal state. It's about how we program that incredibly powerful inner part of ourselves.
Okay, so if belief is the key, the actual healer, then what exactly is this subconscious mind? How does it operate on a basic level? Chapter 7 starts to peel back that curtain, and what it suggests is, well, it's both empowering and maybe a little bit daunting.
Yeah, the book emphasizes that the subconscious naturally sort of defaults towards life, towards growth. It's like it's inherently wired for positive expansion, always trying to flourish and improve.
Okay, that sounds good. Positive default setting.
But, and this raises a really important question for all of us, I think, it also highlights something critical, something often overlooked. Your subconscious mind will make negativity true with just as much power. It doesn't judge the input. It just builds. It executes on whatever blueprints you feed it.
So if you're constantly feeding it worry or doubt,
It'll diligently work to manifest that, which is precisely why the book stresses, like really stresses, the vital need to only give it positive commands, positive orders. Think of it as this incredibly powerful engine, perfectly neutral. It just runs on the fuel you provide.
that's such a critical point if it just amplifies anything.
Yeah.
What does the source say about dealing with negative patterns we might already have? You know, the stuff that's maybe been running for years. Is it just about drowning out the old stuff with new positive thoughts, or is there a more specific way to unprogram it?
That's a great question. It seems less about actively unprogramming in the sense of erasing something directly, and more about consistent reprogramming. The emphasis in the book is all about the sheer power of consistent, deliberate, positive input.
Okay, so repetition is key.
Exactly. By repeatedly feeding it constructive thoughts, positive desires, visualizing good outcomes, you're not just adding new information, you're essentially creating a stronger, more dominant pathway in your mind. Over time, that new pathway naturally overrides the older, less helpful ones. It's presented as a continuous process. Intentional cultivation, you could say.
Right, cultivating a new inner landscape. So how do we actually do that? How do we deliberately channel this power for what we want? Does the source give us a clear how-to? Because, you know, that's where it gets really practical for people listening.
Oh, absolutely. Chapter 8 is basically that playbook. It lays out specific, actionable steps for applying these ideas to fulfill personal desires. First, the book is really insistent on this crystal clear thinking about your desire. It's not enough to just vaguely want something.
You need specifics.
Precisely. You need a sharp mental image, a clear definition. It's like giving super clear instructions to this incredibly powerful but very literal internal assistant.
Okay, clear goal. Got it. What's next?
Then you consciously implant that desire into your subconscious, the tools, positive sentences, affirmations, and vivid visualization. The source kind of likens it to planting a seed. You keep dropping that seed into fertile ground, letting it root deeply in your inner world.
So constant reinforcement.
Yes, and finally, and this is crucial, patience and unwavering belief are paramount. The book assures us if you consistently do these things, your subconscious will then start to create paths. It finds ways to make that desire a reality.
Create paths. So if you're dreaming of, say, a new job, it's not just about sending out resumes, it's also about setting your internal GPS to point towards that opportunity. Is that the idea?
That's a great way to put it. It's like your mind starts actively scanning for relevant opportunities, noticing things you might have missed, maybe bringing the right people or ideas into your awareness. It paves the way, essentially.
Okay, that makes sense. So if this works for general desires, what about something really specific like money, financial abundance? Chapter 9 tackles that directly, how the subconscious relates to wealth. And the insights here seem really practical, too.
They are. The book points out this really profound connection. If your mindset is steeped in poverty or lack, you might be inadvertently programming your subconscious against financial abundance, like building an invisible barrier.
So your own thoughts could be blocking wealth. Ouch.
Potentially, yes, according to this perspective. The solution offered is to actively, consistently, consciously create a vivid mental image of prosperity. It's about deliberately shifting your whole internal feeling, your expectation, from scarcity to plenty. from not enough to more than enough.
And it even gives a specific affirmation for this, doesn't it? Something like,
Prosperity and opportunities are coming into my life.
yeah, that one. Just imagine really planting that thought, feeling it, saying it consistently day after day. That could be a powerful tool.
Absolutely. The book explains that by cultivating these kinds of prosperous thoughts, these mental images of abundance, by consistently affirming wealth and opportunity, your subconscious mind then begins to, and this is the phrase used, attract circumstances that actually align with those inner programs.
Attract circumstances, like a magnet.
In a way, yes, it's presented as this feedback loop. Your inner world starts to influence your outer financial reality, creating openings, drawing resources, bringing situations that resonate with your dominant thoughts about money.
Wow. Okay, moving along that theme, Chapter 10 looks at another big one. Success. Achieving success. And the book reinforces that idea. Again, success isn't just about the grind, the hard work. There's this deeper internal dimension.
Exactly. It elaborates that true, sustainable success, according to the author, also springs from your thoughts and beliefs. It's that internal conviction, believing you are successful or that you're fully capable of achieving it, that works alongside your external efforts.
So internal conviction fuels external action, which fuels more conviction. Kind of a cycle.
Precisely. And the methods suggested are very similar to what we've discussed. Using positive self-suggestions, affirmations, again and repeatedly, vividly visualizing your success, actually seeing yourself achieving the goal, stepping into that moment, feeling the accomplishment, the confidence, the triumph.
So let's say you're aiming for a promotion. You don't just work harder, you also visualize yourself in that role. Feeling the confidence, affirming, I am capable of this.
That's the essence of it.
And the book's claim here is pretty bold. Do this consistently, embed that vision deeply enough, and your subconscious mind will make it true. It's like it doesn't have a choice but to manifest that dominant inner reality externally.
That's the core assertion, yes, that the subconscious works to align your reality with your deepest, most consistent beliefs and images.
You know, just sitting with all this, how fundamental belief is claimed to be for healing, for success, for wealth, it really makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the untapped potential inside all of us. This has been a really eye-opening deep dive. We've unpacked how the subconscious mind is positioned as this pivotal player in healing the real catalyst, driven by belief. We've looked at its basic nature that lean towards life and growth, but also, critically, its power to manifest negativity, if that's what we feed it. And maybe most importantly, we explored the how-to, using it practically for fulfilling desires, attracting wealth, achieving success, all through consistent belief, deliberate positive thinking, and that vivid visualization piece.
Yeah, and if we kind of zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, this knowledge really underscores how profoundly our internal beliefs can impact our external world. It's not just about what we do. It's critically about what we believe and how consciously we choose to program our inner state. It really prompts you, doesn't it, to take a hard look at your own default thoughts, those assumptions you carry about what's possible for you. It sort of shifts the focus maybe from purely external effort to mastering the internal landscape as well.
Absolutely. So given everything we've unpacked today, everything this source suggests, here's a final thought to leave you with. What might be just one small positive thought or maybe one empowering image that you could intentionally start planting in your own subconscious mind starting today? And just imagine, how might that single seed begin to reshape your reality?
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we sift through fascinating sources to extract the truly impactful insights just for you. Today, we're plunging into a topic that, well, subtly orchestrates so much of our daily lives, often without us even realizing it. Okay, let's unpack this. We're talking about the profound influence of your subconscious mind. Our deep dive today draws from some really powerful excerpts of that timeless text, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind, particularly focusing on insights from its illuminating Hindi chapters. And our mission isn't just to, tell you what it says. It's to uncover those surprising practical nuggets of wisdom that show how your inner world really does mold your outer reality. We're talking everything from relationships to, well, even physical vitality.
And it's really quite remarkable, isn't it, how insights from decades ago still offer such a potent, actionable framework for today. Understanding the subconscious, it's not just academic theory. It's more like unlocking a practical toolkit for, well, transformation.
Absolutely. And speaking of practical tools, let's kick things off with maybe one of the most vital areas, our connections with others. One thing in the source that really jumped out at me was this idea about the subconscious playing a pivotal role in relationships, not just like finding the right partner, but really enhancing the relationships you already have. The text is pretty clear. If your mind is constantly filled with fear or, negative thoughts, your relationships are inevitably going to suffer. It's not just a feeling, it actually impacts things.
That's a critical point. It really highlights how the subconscious isn't just about abstract thoughts. It's about how those thoughts subtly shape your actions, your reactions,
Wow.
even how you perceive what other people mean or intend.
Exactly. Like those unspoken cues, body language, tone.
Right. The book suggests this internal programming can create a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe leading to conflict without you even consciously deciding to argue.
Yeah. And that's why the flip side is so powerful. If you intentionally put an image of harmony and love into your subconscious, you're not just wishing, you're actually recalibrating those subconscious signals.
You're changing the underlying pattern.
Right. And the source points out this isn't just about romantic partners. Negative thinking towards anyone, colleagues, family, it can lead to real stress and conflict. So the solution offered is pretty direct. Give positive commands to your subconscious.
Simple affirmations, essentially.
Yeah, simple but powerful things like, I am in harmony and peace with everyone. The idea is doing this consistently starts to change that internal blueprint, improving all your relationships.
What's fascinating here is it's this direct correlation they draw between our internal mental landscape, what we're focusing on inside, and the actual quality of our connections outside. It reinforces that thoughts aren't just abstract fluff, they're actively impactful. It's about conditioning the mind.
Yeah, fostering an internal environment that then projects outward, not just wishful thinking, like you said.
It's like deliberate mental imprinting, almost bypassing the conscious mind's usual doubts.
Okay, that leads us really nicely into the next big area, tackling inner negativity and fear. The source material is quite blunt here. It says anger and hatred literally act like poison in your subconscious.
Poison, that's a strong word.
It is. It implies they don't just hurt others, they actively drain your energy, your inner world, like an actual leak.
That's profound. And it makes you wonder, does the source explain why? Why does the subconscious react so strongly? Maybe linking it to, I don't know, survival instincts, interpreting internal conflict as a threat?
It certainly implies that kind of internal burden, yeah. Something subconscious wants to get rid of. And that's where forgiveness comes in as the antidote. It's presented not just for mental peace, but the book explicitly links it to better physical health, too.
So letting go isn't just psychological, it's physiological.
Apparently so. Your subconscious learns to release these maybe energetic blockages, is the idea. And that release gives you strength and freedom to move on. And then there's fear. The source calls it the biggest enemy of the subconscious.
Biggest enemy. Wow.
Yeah, it really paralyzes us, doesn't it? Shapes our world in such limiting ways.
It really does. And the source suggests fear, when it's deep in the subconscious, doesn't just stop you acting. It actively shapes how you see reality, like building your own mental prison walls.
Right. So the book's method aims to dismantle those walls, basically. Impress a new, empowering narrative.
Exactly. Rewriting the mind's core operating system, you could say.
So how do we do that? What's the technique for fear? The source suggests something quite simple on the surface. Repeatedly speak positive sentences like, my subconscious keeps me safe.
Just saying the words?
Well, it seems it's more than that. It emphasizes consistency and intentional autosuggestion. They often recommend doing it just before sleep, that drowsy state. When the conscious mind's filter is lower, supposedly giving more direct access.
Ah, the hypnagogic state. Makes sense.
Yeah. So the power isn't just the words, but the repetition and the kind of emotional conviction behind them, repatterning the inner dialogue.
Shifting from feeling vulnerable to feeling inherently secure. You're essentially rewriting your deepest code. It's a deliberate act.
Okay, now shifting gears a bit to something maybe less obvious. The source explores a really surprising connection. The subconscious mind's impact on physical aging. Lifelong vitality.
Right, this was fascinating. The core idea being that age is fundamentally of the body.
Not the mind. But the mind still directs the body's experience of it.
This raises a huge question, doesn't it? About just how much our beliefs can shape our physical reality. It's a powerful take on the mind-body connection. It goes beyond just positive thinking. It suggests a deeper, almost biological influence from our inner story.
It really does. The source explains it like this. People who believe themselves to be old, whether consciously or subconsciously, their bodies tend to follow that belief. They age accordingly, maybe faster.
And the opposite.
Conversely, those who see themselves as energetic, active, who hold on to a youthful self-image mentally, they tend to stay more youthful and vital for longer. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How many of our daily physical feelings are shaped by these deep, often unconscious beliefs about ourselves?
Yeah, beliefs about age, health, energy levels.
Exactly. So, what does this all mean for you listening? It's kind of encouraging you to think about how your internal view of your age or even your health might literally be shaping your physical experience, maybe even down to the cellular level.
It suggests our inner narrative about our physical self is just as important, maybe more important than the calendar. The book implies this continuous feedback loop between mental impressions and biological processes. It's quite something.
So, there you have it, our deep dive into the power of your subconscious mind. It really shows its incredible practical power influencing everything from relationships, overcoming negativity and fear, even impacting physical aging and vitality. It's just
Yeah.
a profound reminder that your inner world really does shape your outer reality, often in ways we don't consciously see.
And if you look across all these different areas we touched on, relationships, inner peace, physical well-being, the common thread, the fundamental principle, it's the deliberate, consistent cultivation of positive mental images and clear affirmative commands. That seems to be the core engine driving these changes, according to the source.
Exactly. It all comes back to that consistent inner work. So for you, our listener, here's a thought-provoking question to maybe ponder after this deep dive. If our subconscious truly reflects what we consistently feed it, what's one immediate positive command or image you could start cultivating today? Maybe even start tonight before you sleep. And just imagine what surprising long-term ripple effect might that simple act have on your life. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really going deep into something quite powerful, the subconscious mind. Think of it as a potential shortcut to transforming your daily life. Our guide for this exploration is Joseph Murphy's classic, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. We've zeroed in on the chapters about practical application, focusing on how you can actually harness this inner power. And our mission today, well, it's to pull out actionable nuggets, especially looking at how something as simple as sleep can be leveraged.
Absolutely. And the core idea from Murphy, the real foundation, is that your subconscious mind isn't just, ticking along in the background. He argues it's actively shaping your reality. It's the creator of your destiny, essentially. Understanding the sock and the key, he suggests, to figuring out those events in life that seem almost, well, miraculous. It brings a kind of order to them.
That's a really potent starting point. It shifts things from just reacting to life, doesn't it, towards actively co-creating it. And maybe the easiest way in, like you mentioned, is using sleep. Murphy is very direct about this. He says you give your subconscious specific positive commands right before you drift off. The example he gives is quite simple. Tell yourself, I will wake up healthy and refreshed.
Right. And it's crucial to understand this isn't just like saying nice things to yourself consciously. Murphy emphasizes that your subconscious then takes those instructions, those commands, and actively works on them while you sleep. Think of it like setting a specific task for your brain's background processing. So your nightly rest becomes this purposeful tool for revitalization, for setting you up for the day. It's quite proactive.
That's fascinating, directing that background processing power intentionally. But it goes beyond just waking up feeling good, doesn't it? What about using it for, say, problem solving or even innovation? Murphy suggests you can pose a specific question or outline a problem to your mind just before sleep.
Yes, and this is where it gets really compelling. You're essentially setting an intention, giving your subconscious a specific puzzle to work on. And because the subconscious doesn't think linearly, like our waking minds, it can make different connections to potential outcome. Murphy says the answer, or, some kind of solution, often just appears in the morning, maybe an intuition or a clear idea.
And he makes a pretty bold claim there, too. He mentions that many great inventions and creative breakthroughs have supposedly happened this way. Imagine actually assigning your mind a task before bed instead of just wrestling with it consciously.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
like engaging this, well, inner supercomputer that doesn't need conscious effort to run. It really resonates with modern ideas about incubation periods and problem solving, When you step back or sleep on it, your brain keeps working, making connections non-consciously. Murphy was onto this intuitively, it seems.
Okay, so it helps with wellness, helps with problems. What about bigger life challenges, the really tough stuff? Murphy tackles this too, right? How the subconscious can help us overcome major difficulties. He says if you truly hold on to the belief, the conviction, I will get out of this, then your subconscious actually starts providing the courage, the inner strength needed. And crucially, he says it will find a way, it'll make a path for that belief to become reality.
And that ties directly into what he discusses later about so-called miracles. He suggests these aren't random divine interventions necessarily. They are, in fact, the subconscious mind at work responding powerfully. The ingredients he lays out for these kinds of miracle-like results are things like deep belief, very focused visualization or prayer, and consistent self-suggestion. So they're not just random luck. They're outcomes of focused inner work, according to his model.
That sounds incredibly powerful. But, putting it into practice consistently, that must be the challenge, right? It's one thing to hear it.
That's a really important point. And Murphy addresses it directly. The principles might sound simple, but the hurdle is often that consistency and the belief. It can't be half-hearted. It demands, sustained mental commitment. That's why he has a whole section on basically how to always use the subconscious. It's not about occasional tricks.
So what are the steps then for making it a daily thing?
He advises things like regularly saying positive sentences or affirmations, really feeling them, creating very clear mental images of what you desire, visualizing the outcome, and, maybe hardest of all, truly believing or developing the belief that your subconscious will bring it about.
It sounds like building a new mental habit, almost like reprogramming your internal operating system.
Exactly. It's about habit formation. That consistent practice, Murphy insists, is what unlocks the lifelong benefits, the tangible results. Without that clear, consistent focus, the subconscious doesn't really have a firm directive to follow.
So when you boil it all down, Murphy's central message seems incredibly direct. He basically says, your subconscious mind is the creator of your destiny.
Yes. And the path he outlines to a better life is through that combination. Positive thinking, unwavering belief, and giving the right commands to this inner power. Do that consistently, he argues, and you can genuinely attract or create health, success, wealth, happiness, all of it.
It really all comes back to that core, almost startling idea, he states. You become what you repeatedly tell your subconscious. So, as we wrap up today's deep dive, maybe the question to leave you with is one Murphy himself implies. If simple thought and belief truly have this much power to shape your life, well, why not start directing your subconscious positively, starting today? Definitely something to reflect on. How might you start applying even a small piece of this in your own life? Thank you for joining us on this exploration.